Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to dig into this really cool idea. What if you could actually rewire your own brain? We're going to break down a simple, consistent practice that promises to do just that, moving you from a state of constant reaction to one of real focus and peace.
All right, but first, let me ask you something. Does it ever feel like your mind is just running on autopilot? Like you're caught in this loop of stress or anxiety or frustration, just reacting to whatever life throws at you. Yeah, that feeling, that's our starting point today.
So, to even get to a solution, we've got to get super clear on what the problem is, right? And the source material we're looking at for this explainer suggests the problem starts with our mind's default setting.
Okay, so this state, it's called the default mind, and you can think of it as your brain's factory setting. It's autopilot mode. It's programmed with all these old habits that make you impulsively blame others, complain about your situation, and chase happiness in things you can't control, which, as you know, is a cycle that almost always ends in more stress.
Okay, so how in the world do you interrupt that pattern? What's really interesting here is that it's not about fighting with your mind. It's simpler. It's about giving it a new anchor point, a way to just snap out of that cycle. And the specific tool highlighted in our source is a mantra. Now hold on. The key here is to think of this less as some mystical chant and more like a tool, a mental exercise. It's just a phrase that's designed to interrupt those old reactive patterns and really get that inner change started. And the practice itself, it breaks down into three shockingly simple steps. First, you repeat a line with a positive intent, something like, "May there be peace for all." Second, you immediately just pause and check in with yourself. No judging, just noticing. And finally, you anchor your attention by simply observing the natural rhythm of your own breath. That's it.
Okay, so how do you actually make this stick in your life? The recommendation is a quick 15-minute routine twice a day, once when you wake up and once right before you sleep. But here's the real game changer. You also start using it as a tool in the moment. The second you feel that wave of anxiety or anger coming on, you use the mantra to create this crucial little space between the trigger and your usual reaction.
All right, so that's the what. But now let's get into the how. Why does something so simple actually work so well? Because this isn't just about feeling better for a minute. We're talking about physically changing your brain. Yeah, the science behind this is this incredible concept called neuroplasticity. I want you to picture your reactive thoughts, the anxiety, the blame. Picture them like a well-worn path in a forest. It's just easy for your brain to go down that path. But every single time you consciously interrupt that thought and use this practice, you're starting to forge a brand new path. And over time, that new path gets easier and easier to take until it becomes the default. So you see, you're not just managing your mind, you are literally rebuilding it. And this right here, this just perfectly illustrates the shift you're going for. You're consciously moving from that default mind, which is impulsive and anxious and reactive, to cultivating what the source material calls the discerning intellect. And that's a state of mind that is calm, clear, aware, and able to respond thoughtfully instead of just reacting. The source material gives us this fantastic analogy for this whole thing. It suggests that the peace and clarity you're looking for, they aren't things you need to create from scratch. They're already there, just covered up by the dust and dirt of the default mind. This practice is simply the act of cleaning the floor to reveal the shine that was there all along.
All right, now for the reality check. Because let's be honest, this is where the real work kicks in. The biggest challenge isn't learning the technique, not at all. It's sticking with it when your own mind starts to fight back.
The suggestion is a minimum of 5 continuous weeks. And look, that's not just some random number pulled out of thin air. You can think of it as a kind of diagnostic period. It's just long enough for all the real reasons you struggle with consistency to start bubbling up to the surface.
And the teachings actually identify 8 specific obstacles that tend to pop up. These range from really deep-seated past conditioning, old mental habits you might not even know you have, all the way to your own ego, your intellect making up excuses, or even just the harsh way you speak. Recognizing your own personal roadblocks, that's the critical first step to getting past them.
And just to put the power of will into perspective, our source shares this absolutely incredible story of a practitioner named Teddy. Despite the extreme physical challenges of Parkinson's disease, he maintained unwavering consistency in his practice for over 6 months. It's such a powerful reminder that for most of us, the barriers we face are really a matter of will, not some unbreakable circumstance.
Okay, so let's say you do it. You commit to the practice, you work through those obstacles. What's the end game here? What is the big picture vision you're building towards day by day?
Well, the ultimate goal is to build this stable source of happiness in what's called the invisible world. That's your own inner peace. And when you have that, you become so much more resilient to the constant chaos of the visible world. You know, the people, the situations, the things that are totally outside of your control. It's really about separating your work from where you get your happiness.
So, to make this all super practical, here's a 5-step action plan you can literally start today. 1. Commit to the schedule. 2. Integrate it into those reactive moments. 3. Try to identify your own personal obstacles. 4. Assess the impact and notice even the smallest shifts. And 5, maybe the most important one, embrace the process, especially when your mind is screaming at you to stop.
And we'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. This whole practice, it's not about ignoring the world or checking out. It's about fundamentally shifting your relationship with the world. So ask yourself, what would change for you if your sense of peace was truly, genuinely independent of what happens on the outside? That's the potential this framework offers.